Batman and Robin, eggs and bacon, Five Nights at Freddy's, and lore that doesn't make sense. All things that go together like this and that. In fact, FNAF's lore is so complex compared to its beginning point that as a fanbase, we're just collectively deciding certain games either aren't important or some events are just canon even though we have no real reason to believe them. I'm looking at you, Mangle did the Bite of 87. Basically, nobody can lay out the FNAF timeline in a way that actually makes sense. There's always loose ends, plot holes, and mysteries that we just won't be able to solve in any conventional way. Like, what the hell are Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy? Is FNAF AR canon or not? Is Glitch Trap what Spring Bonnie looked like, or is he just a weird rabbit? I don't think any one human mind can figure all this stuff out, so then we need to ask someone who isn't human. I had a nice long talk with the AI at AI Dungeon, and they spun me a wild tale that took some turns you might not expect. Fair warning, I did have to tweak it a few times. Namely, on my first attempt at this, the animatronics that were haunting the main characters were Balloon Bonnie, Chica the Clown, and Billy the Hairless Boy. It was also an exhausting pain in the ass to find out how to make this thing just write a normal script that wasn't in the second person. In the end, I did manage to make a somewhat comprehensive narrative with the pieces. What I'm about to read to you is 100% AI generated, but I will admit that I did have to remind the AI a couple times that, you know, it's a FNAF story it's telling. So, here we go. In Hurricane, Utah, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is a family restaurant with a singing animatronic band that makes kids smile and frolic and play. But at night, the animatronics come to life on the search for blood. Megan is a security guard, and on one night, she is working her shift alone in the Fredbear's family diner. It is late, and Megan is growing tired. She hears a strange noise coming from the basement and goes to investigate. She sees the broken down animatronics from her childhood. She knows something isn't right. She runs back upstairs, leaving the animatronics to laugh at her. In her office, Megan makes a phone call to her boss, telling him that she won't be coming in the next day. She then goes to her bedroom and goes to sleep. In the morning, Megan's boss, David X. Fazbear, comes into her office and searches for Megan. He finds her body in her bedroom. He then goes to the door to the family diner and opens it. David X. Fazbear sees the animatronics laughing at him. He runs away, leaving the animatronics to laugh. The police investigate the case. The coroner tells them that Megan had a bottle of vodka in her system, and that she had consumed almost the entire bottle. He says that Megan could not have walked, let alone run, all the way to her bedroom, and that she would have had to go through the animatronics in order to reach her bedroom. The police find out that David X. Fazbear was Megan's boyfriend. The police then go to David X. Fazbear and attempt to get him to talk. David X. Fazbear refuses and runs away. The police continue to question David X. Fazbear, who runs into the nearby woods. The police continue to chase him, but they never catch up. The police then go to the family of Megan and attempt to find out more information. The family refuses to talk as they do not want the media attention that would come with the murders of their loved ones. The police continue to investigate the case, and they find out that the only evidence that was left at the scene of the crime was the empty bottle of vodka, the bloody knife, and a picture of Megan and David X. Fazbear. The police do not know what to make of it, but they have to do something. Later, the police discover that David X. Fazbear was a troubled young man. David X. Fazbear's mother, an alcoholic, left him and his younger sister Jessica to care for their sick father. One night, David X. Fazbear's father died. Jessica comforted David X. Fazbear, who became emotional. David X. Fazbear told Jessica that he would kill his father for leaving them. David X. Fazbear's sister, April, became concerned about David X. Fazbear's behavior. She convinced David X. Fazbear's mother to send him to a therapist. David X. Fazbear's therapist sent him home with April. David X. Fazbear's sister, April, worried about her brother's state of mind. She told her mother that David X. Fazbear had been acting oddly and that she didn't feel safe around him. The police questioned David X. Fazbear about his state of mind. David X. Fazbear admitted to April that he wanted to kill his father. April reminded David that their father was already dead. David X. Fazbear became angry and slapped her. David X. Fazbear told April that their father deserved to die for what he did to their family. April refused to tell the police about this conversation. David went home to cry about Megan's death. The police continued to investigate the case. They discovered that April had a son, Sean, that she had given up for adoption when she was 18. Sean was an odd young man and liked to build animatronics. Megan and David X. Fazbear worked at Fredbear's family diner, the same place where Sean worked as a maintenance worker. Megan and David X. Fazbear knew Sean and were friendly with him. April refused to tell the police about Sean. The police continued to investigate the case and they pieced together a story. Megan and David X. Fazbear were lovers. Megan discovered that David X. Fazbear had killed their father years ago. David X. Fazbear confessed to killing Megan. David X. Fazbear strangled Megan until she died. David X. Fazbear hid Megan's body in the trunk of a car in the woods. Megan's body was found shortly afterwards. David X. Fazbear admitted to murdering Megan, but claimed that he did so in self-defense. He hid her body in the trunk to cover up the crime. The police arrested David X. Fazbear. He was tried and convicted. The court chose not to give David X. Fazbear the death penalty, instead sentencing him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Sean then bought Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and became the new owner. Sean changed the name to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The animatronics became known as the Freddys, and the place became a much more popular and well-known establishment. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was a great success. However, it became a target for protesters who claimed that animatronics killed children. The Fazbears, especially April, were afraid of the protests. April tried to convince her brother to shut Freddy Fazbear's Pizza down. Sean refused. A year after David X. Fazbear's arrest, on the night of June the 22nd, the Fazbears heard a knock on the door of their house. It was Freddy Fazbear. Freddy said that the Fazbears could choose to keep Freddy Fazbear's Pizza open, or they could close it and take the money from it. They could also choose to take a Fazbend, an animatronic scavenger hunt in which, if the contestant wins, the winner gets to choose the Fazbear's Pizza logo to be displayed, and a Freddy's flashback. They could not choose to take both or neither. The Fazbears had to choose their prize quickly before someone else chose it for them. The choice was completely up to them. They could choose to close Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. They could take the Fazbend and the Freddy's flashback. Sean decided they can't close the restaurant. It must stay open, he said. The Fazbears chose to take the Fazbend and the Freddy's flashback. They entered the Fazbend and chose a pizza. They chose the pizza where the animatronics come alive and sing "It's a Small World After All." When they got out of the Fazbend, the Fazbears were given a new option. They could choose to close their eyes and have Freddy Fazbear take them back in time, back to the day they first opened the restaurant. The Fazbears all closed their eyes. Freddy Fazbear took them back to that day. Freddy Fazbear picked them up in the middle of the road. He brought them to the family car, and they got inside. Freddy Fazbear drove them to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The car ride took about 10 minutes. The Fazbears opened their eyes and were surprised to see that they were still at the same old family car. It was the first day Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was open. The Fazbears wondered how this came to be their first night. Megan and David X. Fazbear knew that the police were investigating the car. They knew the police found the body of their father in the trunk of the car. They decided to get rid of the body. David X. Fazbear got out of the car. He retrieved the body of their father from the trunk of the car. He dragged the body into the forest. They closed the trunk and drove away. Megan and David X. Fazbear hid the body in a shallow grave in the forest. The police didn't know what to believe. One theory was that a serial killer named the Purple Guy was killing people. He killed people in a specific way. He would kill them and then throw their bodies in the forest. Another theory was that Freddy Fazbear was killing people. The police decided to investigate the former theory. They went to the forest looking for a large purple backpack, but they never found it. In the end, the police never found the Purple Guy. They never found the body of David X. Fazbear. Megan and David X. Fazbear closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and never opened it again. They sold the business to some local businessmen. The local businessmen were named Henry Emily and William Afton. The Fazbears used the money to start a new life in Hurricane, Utah. Freddy Fazbear never eats children. The animatronics that make up the band Fazbear's Fright are located in the basement of Fazbear's Fright Night. They are all in their separate boxes. The band's lead singer, Freddy Fazbear, is located in the center of the basement. There's a large screen behind Freddy Fazbear showing the band's latest video. The band members are all connected to the mainframe computer, which controls them. The animatronics must be turned on every night at midnight so that the video that is playing on the large screen can be displayed. Otherwise, the screen would be blank. Fazbear's Pizza has the same routine as the other pizza places in town. The pizza delivery driver always says the same line: "Good pizza for a good price. Please tip generously." Every night after the pizza is ready, the security guard that is watching the main lobby clock will let the delivery driver in. The delivery driver has to put the pizza in the oven and then get back out again. While the pizza is in the oven, the delivery driver is forced to play the latest Fazbear's video. While the video is playing, the security guard checks the time. If the pizza takes too long in the oven, the security guard will call the manager on the intercom. The manager will then come downstairs and the guard will let the manager in. If the pizza takes too long, the manager will kill the delivery driver and take the pizza back to the kitchen. The manager's name is William Afton. If the pizza takes too long, he will stuff the delivery driver's body into an animatronic. The delivery driver will become part of the band Fazbear's Fright. Sometimes, the security guard will let in the wrong delivery driver. When that happens, the security guard will be the one who gets stuffed into an animatronic. The security guard's name is Henry Emily. There are other, less notable animatronics in the basement, such as Good Ol' Fred and Baron Vaughn. There are 8 animatronics in the basement, and their names are Freddy Fazbear, Good Ol' Fred, Baron Vaughn, Candy Corner Shop, Hippo Hannibal, Tom Cat, Jerry the Lion, Sandy Suit, and there is an empty yellow rabbit suit that William Afton likes to wear sometimes. When he wears the suit, he calls himself Baron Bunny. It's midnight. The delivery drivers have just finished their latest video and are on their way back to their cars. Baron Bunny is angry with them. Baron Bunny is angry with them. He is angry because the pizza took too long to cook. When the delivery drivers are out of view of the lobby's cameras, Baron Bunny throws one of them into an animatronic. The delivery driver is stuffed into Candy Corner Shop and dies. The other delivery drivers continue on their way to their cars without knowing what has happened. Candy Corner Shop is a strange-looking child-sized robot. He has large, yellow, child-sized eyes, a pair of smiling, child-sized cheeks, and a child-sized pink cone-shaped nose. He has short, child-sized hair and wears a yellow raincoat with a white, child-sized pocket watch attached to the belt. He also wears yellow pants with red stripes and a yellow belt with the same red stripes. He has a child-sized robot gun that can shoot child-sized peppermint candies. His mouth opens and closes as if he is trying to scream, but he can't. He doesn't move. He just sits there and waits to be plugged in. Oh my god. In the basement of Fazbear's Fright Night, Baron Bunny is sitting at a control panel. He is about to get really angry. He is going to get all angry. He is going to be really angry for a long time. He presses a button and Candy Corner Shot comes to life. He uses the gun to aim at the other delivery drivers and shoots them. He doesn't stop to see if they die or not, he just keeps shooting. Once he is done, he stops and says, "They'll be punished for this." Then he plugs Candy Corner Shop into a wall. Then he plugs in the animatronic's power cord. Then he gets up and leaves the room. Baron Bunny stuffs the other drivers into the various animatronics. The animatronics are lined up on a single table in the center of the room. The table is in the middle of a spotlight which shines on it. Baron Bunny then returns and sits down at the table. He takes a seat and says, "Time to prepare our band for our latest video." Baron Bunny takes a bag of green nuts and opens it. He takes out a handful of green nuts and eats them. He eats another handful and another. He continues eating handfuls of green nuts until the bag is empty. He then replaces the handfuls of nuts in the bag and opens a new bag. He does this until the bag is empty. He then says, "Okay, we're good to go." Then Baron Bunny leaves the room. The animatronics begin to move. The animatronics are scary, and the children who see them are scared. The animatronics begin to play. Baron Vaughn laughs and cries. Baron Vaughn is very happy. Baron Vaughn is very happy. Candy Corner Shop begins to dance. He dances like a clown. The other animatronics dance and laugh and cry and sing. They are all in a lot of pain. "What the heck is this?" says Baron Bunny as he returns to the room. He walks up to the animatronics and says, "That's not what I hired you for. This is a family show. I want children to feel safe and happy. I want children to smile and laugh and dance. I don't want this stuff." The animatronics look at Baron Bunny with anger in their eyes. They say, "We are in pain." "Then fix this," shouts Baron Bunny. The animatronics cry out in pain. Tom Cat grabs Baron Bunny by the arm. Jerry the Lion grabs him by the leg. They begin to pull Baron Bunny and he falls to the floor. "I'll show you what this stuff can do," shouts Baron Bunny. He turns to the camera and presses a button. All of the animatronics are shocked with electricity and start convulsing. They fall to the ground and scream in pain. They twitch and shake and convulse and scream. Baron Bunny says, "I'll show you what this stuff can do," and he presses another button. All the animatronics stop convulsing and go quiet. Baron Bunny says, "That's what this stuff can do." The animatronics sit up. They sit straight with their eyes wide open. They sit as if they were alive. Then they begin to sing. Baron Bunny leaves the room and takes his costume off. Back to being William Afton, he strolls on home. "That was scary," says Freddy Fazbear as he closes the door behind him. "I'm never going to take a nap again." "Me neither. I just want to go to sleep." "Me too." "Night-night, Freddy Fazbear." "Night-night, kids." "Night-night, Willy." To be continued? Now, I know you're all at the edge of your seat wondering where the story will take us next time, but let me briefly sum up what the story was about. So the story begins with the death of Megan, who's a security guard at Fredbear's Family Diner. We find out she's dating her boss, David X. Fazbear, who owns the restaurant. He apparently had a troubled past, one wherein his father died from sickness. Angered by this, he swore to kill his father someday, even though he was already dead. David also had a sister, April, who was the mother to Sean. Sean was a mechanic with an interest in animatronics, but this never really comes up again. Eventually, David confesses to killing Megan after Megan found out he killed his father. Again, something that was literally impossible for him to do. Since David was arrested, Sean bought the restaurant and rebranded it to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Then folks began protesting, claiming the animatronics killed children, something I can only assume came out of the previous owner being a murderer. Sean kept the restaurant open, but on June 22nd, Freddy Fazbear himself goes to his house and gives him two options. One is to take the money and run, the other is to have a little game show or something. This is where the whole Fazben and Freddy flashback thing come into play. Ultimately, Sean chooses the Fazben, which brings him back in time to the first day of Fredbear's being open. This actually gives us some information we had not known before. Megan also was involved in hiding the body after David killed their father. It seems Sean just being there changed the timeline, as David ends up closing the restaurant and selling it to William Afton and Henry Emily. They then turn the building into Fazbear's Fright Night, a pizza place where the animatronics make music videos in the basement. Apparently, every night the security guards let the delivery drivers in, force them to make a pizza, and watch the music videos while they bake. If the delivery drivers or security guards mess up, the manager, William Afton, kills them and stuffs them into the animatronic suits in the basement. Henry was apparently one of these people. We're introduced to a few different animatronics, including the time-traveling Freddy Fazbear, Good Ol' Fred, Baron Vaughn, Candy Corner Shop, Hippo Hannibal, Tom Cat, Jerry the Lion, and Sandy Suit. We also find out that the spring Bonnie costume that Afton wears is called Baron Bunny. After stuffing a driver into Candy Corner Shop, Candy shoots all the other drivers dead with his peppermint gun, and Afton stuffs them into the suits. He devours 2 bags of pistachios and punishes the animatronics when they come to life and start crying in pain. He leaves for the night, and that's currently where our story ends. So, there are definitely some loose ends here. What happened to Sean? After being brought back in time, is he just hanging around? Is he going to change the future again? When will Afton be defeated, and by who? What happened to David X. Fazbear after he was arrested? What does the X even stand for? In this new timeline, did Megan survive? We never get clarification that David killed Megan this time, just that she was involved with hiding his body in the forest. There's also the fact that even though William exists in this story, David X. Fazbear is the purple guy. There's plenty of questions, theories to spin, and all sorts of stories to tell. If you want me to continue this bizarre story, be sure to like the video. This was definitely one of the more fun, if difficult videos I've ever had to make. Well, that's all out of me this time. Peace.